we had lots of snow here in London. Other parts of the UK didn't have any at all. And I think for as long as I can remember, we had as much snow as the last 5-6 years. I don't remember snow like that for a very long time. And I thought then none other to get out on the bank and try and catch a fish in the snow. I love my predator fishing, especially when it's the colder months like it is now. And given the best chance of catching something in the snow, I thought that I'd target perch. I haven't done too much perch fishing in the last sort of couple of sort of late autumns, as I've been early winters, as I've been carp fishing quite late. I usually jump on my predator fishing early. And I decided to get out with the snow and see if I could catch a perch or anything at all. With it being so cold, I had a few venues in mind already, a few still waters and a couple of little backwaters off a few rivers that I planned to fish over the next few days. It was a race against time because the temperatures were absolutely freezing. There was temperatures hitting nearly -8, -9 in some places. And it was sort of over a course of a few days that I went fishing, and I was determined to catch a perch in the snow, regardless of the size. The venues that I usually target for my perch fishing hold good fish, so I knew there was a good chance of a nice one. And the first day I didn't catch anything, and the second day I actually had to do a little filming piece with Drennan, stickleback fishing, and in the morning I shot that piece and actually went fishing in the evening. I had a little bit of not a bad session, but a lot of the water when I got there was freezing up, and I knew that time was running out. I caught a lovely pike, a low double in the snow, so I caught a fish in the snow, as well as them sticklebacks earlier on that day. And I actually lost a perch as well that day, and I was kind of beating myself up a bit, thinking the next day is getting so cold, and I just had to push myself. We had an easterly wind coming. Me and Jack have been hard at it, going every day, and walking with all my kit, and I had a little annual trip to the cafe, got my breakfast in the morning, and when I was walking with all my kit, my hands were so freezing. I almost turned around and went home. I just thought, is it really worth it? But it was all good in the end, because after searching for days and days, I got there and it was even more frozen than what it was the day before, and I actually decided to fish a little different section that day, a part that I wasn't overly confident in fishing, but I knew that there could have been big perch in the area. And I was there with Jack and another mate, Callum. He come along, and I put 2 little rods out. Jack was using his BFS setup, and his hands were probably so cold or whatever. I said, let me have a go, warm myself up. I made a cast with his rod, not far out, only probably about 20 foot, 30 foot, with a really slow retrieve, and an absolute monster of a perch followed it in. Me, Jack and Callum were standing there, and me and Jack had glasses on, and we instantly just both said that we felt sick. The fish was enormous, and I know good fish, and I've caught plenty in my short spent time on this earth, and I was like to him, mate, like that was a giant. So I deployed a couple of little baits in the area, and it didn't take long until I had a bite. And yeah, I let this fish sort of go for about 20 seconds. I was using quite a big roach as bait, and I thought he might have not engulfed the bait fully. He might have just had it in his mouth. So I let him go for a little bit longer, and struck and played this fish in. Short fight. I really didn't want to be playing the fish for too long. I just wanted to get him in, and a monster perch, mega fish, and I was buzzing, over the moon. And yeah, he weighed 4 pound 1 ounces, and I was totally ecstatic with the fish. I'd caught what I come for, and yeah, I was super chuffed. Well, after a few hard days fishing in the snow in freezing conditions, it's come good with this 4-pounder, and my fingers are numb, so I'm gonna get him back and head off home in a little bit, and certainly got a smile on my face. Thank you. It actually dawned on me, and after I sort of sat there and sort of absorbed that mega perch in the snow, I was thinking to myself, and I said to Jack, I said, that fish wasn't the same fish that followed that lure in. That was much bigger. And yeah, I could just tell the colorations, the size. It was just abnormal. Fish of that size, they're such a rarity. 4-pounders, let alone anything in excess of that size, you know. It was sort of on my mind for days. I went back the next day, tried to have a go again. The place was frozen solid. I couldn't even fish it. And after a few days, the ice had melted and that fish was on my mind. I had to get back, and knowing with it being so cold and that water temperature being freezing, that fish probably would have been too far from where I last seen it. The venue was actually quite a big venue, so I wanted to make the most of the time and the weather to get back down there. I often get asked what kind of tackle I use when I'm perch fishing, and I always keep it simple. Sliding float, just fixed with float stops on the main line, and a small weight, an olivet or a ball weight to weight your float. Fluorocarbon hook link, 6 to 8 pound, and a size 5 or 6 wide gape style hook. And it's never let me down. I'm totally confident in it. For the rod, I always use a 12-foot, 1.5 to 1.75 test curve. Well, the time come. The ice had melted and I was ready and armed to go and fish for this perch again. I actually was busy on the first day that the ice had disappeared. I was doing a little bit of work in the morning, and I had a little hour or so in the evening to go, and I was contemplating, shall I go, shall I not? And I thought, I've just done a video on lamping perch at night, so with the light fading, it shouldn't have been a problem. I grabbed some tackle and headed down there, and yeah, I wasn't even going to take the camera, but I'm super glad I did, because 10 minutes in the right place is certainly better than 10 hours in the wrong. And I'm pretty sure with searching out with that lure and watching that fish follow it in, that I'd located the monster's lair. And yeah, I'll let you see what happened next. Well, you wouldn't believe it, an absolute giant. 5 pound and 1/2 ounce, my second 5-pound perch from the UK, and I feel sick, just like I did that day when a big one followed my lure in the snow. Yeah, I can't speak. An early Christmas present, and I'm sure this was that fish from the other day. I don't want to keep him out too long, so I'm going to get him back, and yeah, I'm lost for words. What a magnificent fish, and truly special.